and gaming experience. These are the episodes of the Gamer's Frontier to boldly talk gaming into your ear. These are the GamerMen.
Hello and welcome to episode 7 of the GamerMen. This being the E3 aftermath, which we're going to be doing on the fly without any screens of anything or any sort open current. I'm the Earth Nerd.
And I'm Firestorm.
And we hope you enjoy this episode. First off, if you're listening to this on YouTube, you can actually download it as an MP3 format from thegamermen.co.uk, as well as checking out any previous videos or previous MP3s. Also follow us at GamerMen UK on Twitter, as well as obviously the GamerMen UK on YouTube as well. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, as well as click and like, and even leave us a comment of what you thought of the show. First off, what an E3 we had. Microsoft and Sony both sticking to their guns and not showing any form of new technology, and Nintendo's Wii U looking better than what I actually thought it was going to.
Yeah, it's definitely improved from the original images that they showed you of it, and it looks a bit different as well. I think the one that we've just seen on E3 demonstrated was a black one, and they've changed a bit of the layout and everything by the looks of it. So
what they've done is, from what I can see, is they've changed it to black, because obviously if you look at the Xbox, it is black now. If you look at, the standard one's black. And if you look at the PlayStation, that's also black. So obviously black is in. And I think that they're trying to go along the Sony and Microsoft route of it's an entertainment system as well as a games console. But the other thing I like, what they did was they remodeled the actual gamepad screen, which they're actually officially calling the gamepad, which is that touchscreen thing. As well as they're going to be releasing the a Pro controller, which is basically modelled off the Xbox, but it's got the right analog stick where the X, Y, A, B buttons are, and vice versa.
Yeah. They've changed it a bit.
All they've done is they've just basically moved a set of buttons. That's it.
It's still a change.
But they have said that the Xbox 360 controller is possibly the best controller ergonomically to actually use for gaming. I know I play that much on the Xbox that when my hands relax, it actually sits as if it's ready to actually sit and play Xbox. So, mind you, that could be me just playing too much Xbox.
I have to say it's probably down to me playing too much Xbox, because mine does exactly the same thing.
Obviously the Nintendo Wii U was one of the biggest shocks for me, because I wrote it off after seeing what we saw last year. Like many other gamers, I actually wrote it off, and I was a bit disappointed with what was shown. But this year, from what we've seen, the fact that obviously not a lot's changed, but they have changed their mentality. I think Nintendo's changed its mentality from being, we want core gamers and everything, like they have done with the Wii U, with the initial thing with the Wii and the GameCube, and probably the N64 as well, where it seemed to be stuck back in the sort of 90s, where they just wanted the family-friendly type of games, rather than what a gamer actually plays these days, which is more the sort of adult versions of game, not adult versions, but more adult-orientated games, considering the bulk of gamers is actually, from a study that was done, was anywhere from the age of 30 to 45. And obviously they're the ones buying these things on a regular basis, so therefore, if Nintendo's changed their strategy to that, I mean, you've got the Aliens Colonial Marines coming out, Darksiders 2 coming out, Batman Arkham City Armoured Edition. And when you saw the remote control Batarang in Batman Arkham City, and even in Batman Arkham Asylum, it was a bit of a faff trying to, move it with the thumbsticks. I mean, I'm tilting the controller up and down as well, trying to fly this blooming thing. Whereas when you throw it in the Wii U version, you actually tilt the screen up and down and everything to as if you're flying it. Do you know what I mean? So that looked like it could be really good. Obviously,
I believe due to the Sixth Sense on the PlayStation 3, they control it in much the same way by altering the angle of the controller itself to fly the remote control batarang. But I'm not 100% because I haven't played it on the PlayStation because I haven't been on PlayStation in over 9 months.
So yeah, that looked like a good concept with but the other thing is though, you actually have the view on the screen as well, so you're actually looking at the screen, not on the TV. You're looking at it in the controller, so you're trying to do it from the controller's point of view.
Yeah.
So that looked like it was quite good. Obviously, they got the usual Mario games and everything coming out. So there wasn't really much else other than that sort of impressed me. One thing that I was shocked to see them saying that was going to be coming out was Pikmin 3. I don't know whether or not you've played this one, but
I think I have played Pac-Man 3, yeah.
Not Pac-Man, Pikmin. Pikmin 1 and 2 was on the GameCube, and you were like a little space alien bloke that used to pull things out the ground, and you had to use a different type of Pikmin to be able to. There was fire Pikmin, water Pikmin, green Pikmin, and yellow Pikmin.
I have not played it then.
You had to, you could separate them out into their colours, have them all following you, and you would basically toss them at enemies. You would, it was like a bit like a little puzzler. Do you remember Overlord that came out on the PlayStation 3, obviously, and the Xbox 360 several years ago, where you were a big demon overlord and you have the little different types of demon.
I'm
it's
sure
exactly the same concept. Exactly. I think they basically took the concept of Overlord from Pikmin. But Pikmin is one of those games where it's very, very addictive. Don't know what it is about a lot of the Nintendo games and what are done by Nintendo themselves, but they have a lot of addictiveness to them. One of the things I was surprised to actually see coming out on the Wii U was Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah, we have mentioned Assassin's Creed 3 quite a few times in our previous podcasts, so I would recommend going back and having a good listen. Assassin's Creed 3, yet again. I'm not going to go over the stuff I've already said about it, even though I would like to, but I am waiting for this one with much anticipation.
One of the things that surprised me though was, and this is where I think Sony's trying to beat Microsoft to the punch now, is Assassin's Creed 3 is getting a PS3 exclusive downloadable content at the game's release, which is what was announced after demoing the latest part of it, which is naval warfare section of the game. It's apparently similar to how Assassin's Creed Brotherhood got the Cornupus conspiracy mission on day one as well. Obviously, there's a Vita version of Assassin's Creed 3 coming out as well, called Liberation, which was also revealed, which you're playing as a female assassin in New Orleans. And obviously, it's going to support touchscreen controls as well as social functions through something called Nier, which I have no idea what it's about. Obviously, I'm a PlayStation bound, so I wouldn't know that. However, since E3, one of the things that's been announced is that Ubisoft said that the big jump between Assassin's Creed 2 and Assassin's Creed 3 was made possible by the annual releases, which is Brotherhood and Revelations. And if they hadn't have done that, they would have not been able to do Assassin's Creed 3. And obviously they started working on Assassin's Creed 3 back in January 2010, which was the same time as Brotherhood was started. So obviously this is going to be the core game that you must play after number 2. So you could probably, if you really wanted to know what happened between Assassin's Creed 2 and Assassin's Creed 3 with Ezio and the finalisation I'll tell you, what I would suggest on doing is just Google it. Because obviously there's some multiplayer achievements there that not many people play, and it's just not worth really picking them up. I mean, you can pick the game up for about £5 or £6 now, I think, if you really, really feel you must play them.
I wouldn't say it was worth the £5 or £6 personally, but hey,
no, that was the last one. I'm on about.
The last one. Sorry, yeah.
Avoid the last one. Google the ending, because that's all you need.
Yeah, essentially Google the ending. If you're a big trophy hunter or you're out for your gamer score, whatever you want to do, then yes, entirely up to you. But on the whole, probably one of the greatest pieces of crap ever. But that's my opinion.
So yeah, I mean, really between Microsoft and Sony, I was not impressed. I sat and watched the Microsoft thing live on my Xbox, and I'm sitting there and I was not impressed. I mean, why the hell did they get Usher out on stage to sing and dance for Dance Central 3? Yes, fair enough, he's in it, but they didn't have the video up for half of the blooming thing. And then obviously when you're watching him, he can't sing and dance at the same time, and he was trying to be too much like Michael Jackson. So obviously, as you know, from that there's a Dance Central 3 coming out, which obviously I don't think surprises anybody, considering how popular Dance Central 1 and 2 was.
Yeah. I like the idea of them using the Kinect system now, but isn't it awfully close to being like the Wii?
What do you mean?
Or is it? Well, there's quite a few dance games or dance video games, whatever you want to call them, that are on the PlayStation Wii that are quite close to this one, in my opinion. And now it being launched on the PS3 with the Kinect system, it just seems to me like they're a bit following in their shadow.
Well, the dance games, I mean, originally you had the Dance Mat, and they always sold well. At the end of the day, it's kind of like everybody's trying to get in with a keep fit thing. I mean, Jesus, have you not seen the amount of times that the amount of games that's come out saying, keep fit with so and so, instead of having the video of going down to the rental thing and getting the video or into Asda and after Christmas, where you would go into Asda or Sainsbury's or Tesco's or Morrison's, and they would have that get fit with Mel B, get fit with Jennifer Ellison, and usually the only reason worth getting these blooming things for is to actually just sit and watch it. You're not exactly going to do anything.
Yeah, you just sit there with a bloody sandwich in your hand going, yeah, I'll do it eventually, love.
No, I've only bought it to see if you bend over and see your bottom.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Get the girls out so we can watch them jiggle or something stupid like that.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get... and that's why I've got the UFC trainer, which to me is one of the best ones on the market, because it absolutely kills you. There's the new one that's coming out for the Xbox Kinect as well, which is 90 Plus training, or Kinect training, or 90 Plus Kinect, or whatever they were calling it, which is basically Nike's now getting in on the thing, but apparently it's a more personalised thing to who you are as a person, because it does
They've always banged on about that. There is so many bloody games that go, oh yes, we're now going to offer you the own personal trainer, blah 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 blah, and it's rubbish.
Well, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I thought the Nike one was quite good though, because it ties it all together with a bit like Twitter and Facebook and everything, where you can actually challenge your mates and keep fit with your mates. Do you know what I mean? Whereas things like the UFC trainer, EA Active Sports, and whatever else the other ones were, you just had to do it in the room on your own. Yeah. So it can make it out to be a bit more of a competition with your mates, which I think is a good thing, because it means people are a lot more than likely going to use it.
Well, look at you and me, mate, playing Kinect Sports. That would be good if they did a health based option, like UFC trainer for two people at the same time using the Kinect system. I reckon people would do it, because it would make you want to beat your mates.
Exactly.
And that's the big thing. That's the best thing. That's something that not a lot of video game producers, not a lot of companies and people quite realise. If they make it competitive with your friends, people would want to do it.
Like, go back to sort of like the Mega Drive, Super Nintendo, PlayStation 1,
Yeah.
and what was the other one? The Nintendo 64. Some of the best games, like Master System and Nintendo Entertainment System as well. Some of the best games were where you would sit in front of a TV, there'd be a group of you, and it would be a winner stays on.
Yeah.
You know, and
Alright.
now the problem we've got now is because you've got Xbox Live and PlayStation Network and whatever the hell Nintendo comes out with, is basically you sat on your own in front of a TV screen playing against people, but you don't get the satisfaction of beating somebody.
Yeah.
Like you used to. In the arcade, when it was back in the arcades, apparently they used to put the 20 pence or whatever onto the arcade machine. It's my 20 pence, I'm on next type of thing, and to play the winner, and that's how it used to be. Now,
the amount of times I've done that on a bloody pool table, here's a quid, I'll keep on if you beat him or something like that.
Yeah. And it's great because one, it's social interaction, but two, if you beat that person, you're going to give them that the smug look of haha, I've just beat you. But that's the thing though, you don't get that. It's like now, I mean, I don't yourself when we're playing online, the sort of the fresh amount of words that's coming out of our mouths, is somebody's beating you, and 9 times out of 10, it's rife in Ghost Recon at the minute. It's constantly rife in Call of Duty. These people that hack the game to have unlimited camo or unlimited bullets.
I'm not going to say anything about the bloody hackers. I'm not going to mention, it's a problem. We'll leave it at that. We need to end it there,
It's a
mate.
rife problem. I don't know why people do it. It spoils the game for everybody, and it just proves how much of a weak gamer you are. So obviously, if you agree with that, please put a comment on either on the website, on our Facebook page, which is the GamerMen community, or the GamerMen UK. The other thing you can do is put a comment on YouTube as well, and we'll know you've watched it. Thanks very much. And to see how it would be lovely to see how many people actually don't like these hackers who sit there and actually hack into the game or use the glitches in the game to get over the top of people, which is why I tend to play more in a private lobby than in a ranked one, because you get absolutely hammered by these people who are using some form of hacked thing. Anyway, moving on, one of the games that hasn't really been hacked that much was Battlefield 3. Now, obviously, everybody knows Battlefield 3 is out on the PC, as well as the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. Battlefield Premium is apparently exclusive to PlayStation 3 for a week, which basically it'll arrive basically on the Xbox and the PlayStation, the PC, on the 12th of June. But obviously, at the time of speaking, back in, I think it was around about the 4th of June, Battlefield Premium was made exclusive to PlayStation 3 owners. And basically, it's effectively going to cost you 4,000 Microsoft points, which is around about 34 quid, or 40 quid on 40 quid on the PlayStation. It basically it grants people 2 weeks early access to the DLC packs, which is infantry-centric expansion pack Close Quarters, which was obviously is actually out now. There's a vehicle warfare add-on coming out called Armored Kill, which is due in September. Post-Earthquake set DLC, which is called Aftermath, due in December, and Endgame, which is coming in March of 2013. And obviously those that haven't already got it you get access to back to Cartland as well.
That and the fact it's got 20 odd new games, and I think gives you a lot of other options to do with the way your character looks.
Yeah.
I'm not 100%. I do remember seeing the bit that they said for definite 20 new weapons. So if you're a big weapons freak, that's a good one.
Yeah. Which, to me, I think it's my Sony's way of turning around and sticking the old two fingers up at Microsoft, saying, because obviously Battlefield is in direct competition with Call of Duty, Modern Warfare.
Yeah. Well, that and the fact that COD's bringing out Black Ops 2.
Yeah, or
which
Black Plops 2, or Plops 2, or whatever you want to call it. Which
well,
does not look, from what I've seen of it, it does not look like a Call of Duty game. It looks more like they've tried to rip off Ghost Recon with Future Soldier coming out. And because
it came out.
Well, yeah, but if you think about it, Future Soldiers took 3-4 years to come out.
Yeah.
Whereas Call of Duty comes out every single year. It's every other year by a different different company. And I think Infinity Ward completely blew their chance with Call of Duty now. Because Modern Warfare 3 was absolute diabolical. I know quite a lot of people say that they enjoyed it. I, for one, hated it. I went through the multiplayer on it and I'm thinking, bored. Ooh, big explosive bit, bored.
Well, I think that, to be honest, I think the whole board bit, explosive bit was catered towards the American market. And as as one of the famous catchphrases is of one of the programs, you paid your $10, now you want a big explosion. I feel that's the way that they've gone with that game. It's been less about storyboard and more about large explosions and big gunfights.
Take Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, absolutely huge. It set the tone for everything. It redefined what multiplayer should do, like Halo did originally, like Halo 2 more so to the point, where Halo 2 redefined it for online on the consoles. Modern Warfare 4 did that. Not Modern Warfare 4. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare redefined it, was fantastic. Infinity Ward did a fantastic job. Then
the downhill descent,
which was nowhere near as good as Modern Warfare. And to be honest with you, I think a lot of it has to do with Activision, rather than the publisher giving the developer the space that they need to develop these games and take chances. The publishers are dictating to the developers, we want this game and you can't put this in, you can't put that in, it has to be this. It did really well last time. We want exactly the same thing.
I think I'm not sure. I don't know work for the companies, I don't know much about them, but I think what they did is they got the first one out, absolutely superb, no problems with it. They should have taken their time with the second one. I don't have any problems with the second one. I loved it. I really enjoyed it. I thought the online was one of the better ones. It was brilliant, but the third one, they should have given it 5 years to be out, in development, if not more, because it needed the time.
No, the problem you've got is the Modern Warfare. The first Modern Warfare had all the original Infinity Ward guys there. Second one had all the Infinity Ward guys there, but there was a big problem in there while it was getting developed, I think, with Activision telling them what they should and shouldn't be doing, and then obviously firing the two guys that set up Infinity Ward, which have gone off to set up Respawn Entertainment.
Yeah.
And
which was a big mistake on their part.
Well, it was a big mistake on Activision's part, yeah. And I think that because half of the original Infinity Ward game guys left not long after that as well, and went and joined Respawn Entertainment, because of the treatment that the two guys that were sacked or fired, whichever way you look at it, was given, a lot of people left. Now, Modern Warfare 3 is being built by what I would class as a dysfunctional developer now, because of all the hassle that they had from Modern Warfare 2. A lot of the guys were probably still disgruntled that they didn't get the bonuses that were supposed to have been paid, apparently. From what, if we're to believe what the companies like IGN, GamesRadar, Eurogamer, and whatnot do tell us, because we're only getting bits and pieces of information that these people can get hold of. Now, it'd be interesting to see what happens in the court hearings with regards to all that. But my thoughts there are that companies like Activision need, yes, fair enough, publish the games, but don't dictate to the developer what they should and shouldn't put into the games, because you're going to end up with games like Guitar Hero, which aren't bad, but put out too much of the same thing, you're going to flood the market and people aren't going to give it a toss. And we're back after this little hiccup from a technical point of view, which we have no idea, but it sounded more like bees invading the system. As we were saying, I personally think that developers need to be given the space to breathe. Guitar Hero was a prime example. It was a good game, flooded the market. You had what else was there? There was what's it called? Tony Hawk's. That was it.
The Pro Skaters
was good, and then it went downhill because it was marketed every single year. Not a lot of change. Same thing with a lot of the EA Sports stuff. Again, basically a new game with pretty much an updated roster. As I've mentioned before, my personal opinion on EA and the way that they do these sports things is, instead of doing it where they're releasing a whole new game with pretty much everything being almost identical, with maybe a few tweaks that could have been done via a downloadable update, which would be free to do that bit. But if people wanted the newer season and whatnot, the new transfers and everything, so the teams matched whoever, do it as a download. Charge people £15 for this download, which updates the whole roster and has the online play for it. Same as they're having all this thing with the update pass or something. I think, to me, that is going to make it more viable, and it'll be cheaper for them, and they could leave it at £15. If people wanted to update it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It means if people want to update it to, say, 2011's year, because their team was in the Premier League, therefore they pay the £15 for that. If, say, it's a 3-year-old game, they pay the £15. They can update it. They've got the choice of the two. They update the 2010 version or the 2011 version. And then it gives it 2 years for them to develop and make a massive change to the gameplay, like they have done on the Xbox for this latest edition of FIFA, Madden, and all the other ones, because they brought out this thing called Smartglass, which is basically your iPhone or Android phone, your Windows phone or your Windows tablet or your iPad becomes another form of another screen, because it's going to sync it all together, which I think is fantastic, because it means, as it showed a demo, you can change positions on the side type of thing. With the Kinect, you can give shouts as if you're the manager. You can change things on the fly, like say substitute 9 off 13 on type of thing. And obviously it's a little bit more complex than that. You can go substitute striker 13 off 9 on, and it would do a substitute as if you are the coach, which I think is quite a good idea. It stops you having to go through 10 different menus to do it. The Madden games, you can give out the calls that you want to do. The coach and assistant gives you general ideas of what you can do. If you've got one of these tablets, you can draw out the path that you want these people, your players, to take. as well, so you can rub out one particular part of it and change the format style of it. So I think if Microsoft do it right and let it enabled for iPad as well as, you know, as well as these Windows tablets, I think they could be hitting on a brilliant thing. You know, they've took the concept from the Wii with the whole, you know, on the gamepad to the console if somebody wanted to watch the telly, and they took it to that, maybe it's that little bit of a next level, not a massive leap. The other thing I noticed was that if you're playing, and they used Halo 4 as an example, which we'll get to that in a few minutes, where obviously, you know, if you've got a bit of intel, which I think is fantastic, instead of it going into sort of an extras thing, it flags up saying your Halo Waypoint thing. You can log into it from your smart pad or whatever you call it, and you can read it while you're still playing the game, which I think is brilliant because it gives you schematics of the ship and stuff like that, which I thought was brilliant because it means you're getting a bit more in depth. It's as if you're you're looking at your wrist in some futuristic thing and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it'd be quite good.
Yeah, it will definitely be an interesting thing to see where they're going with it.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people have turned around and said Halo 4 at the end of the last one, oh, it's going to be massive, it's going to be big, oh yes, and whatnot. To me, you can't exactly say it's going to look like another Halo game, can you?
No.
It's got the Master Chief in. It's set 5 years after the Halo 3, and it's got the Forerunners in it, which was demoed on the videos on Xbox on the Xbox conference thing, but because 343 Industries have took over where Bungie left off, it's got a whole new graphic engine in it. So instead of it looking like a polished Xbox game, it now looks like it stands up against games like Crysis, Battlefield. You can't exactly say Call of Duty anymore because it's been used in a blooming, a generation's old graphic engine. But you know, the latest Gears film, the latest Metal Gear Solid game, the latest Final Fantasy game, all these games that come out that you look like your jaw hits the floor just on the visuals. Yeah. Halo 4 is like that. It looks amazing.
I have seen it. I don't know whether it's super polished, end product or not. I don't know what we're actually going to be getting when we're buying a copy of it. But
I think looks-wise, I think it is. I think it's more the programming side of things to get rid of all the bugs and stuff now that they've that can crop up in the form of development. So any screenshots you get now is basically what you're going to get of Halo 4. Not a lot of information was given, but from what was shown, I was, wow, that looks good.
Do you know what I mean? I was exactly the same way. My jaw did hit the floor, but I'm a little bit apprehensive about it. Is it actually going to be that good?
Well, it looks nice. It looks like a plays Halo game. It looks like a generic Halo game. But, like you say, time will tell. Will it look good? I think it'll still smash sales. The problem that they've got, though, where Halo was mainly the only sort of first-person shooter that came out, you've now got Battlefield out there. You've got what else was there first-person-wise? Call of Duty, which I don't know why I forgot about that, considering we were recently just talking about it. As well as obviously Halo, and then obviously you've got all the other ones, that's sort of minor ones. You've got Borderlands 2 coming out this year as well.
Really looking forward to that.
Which wasn't at E3, which I'm surprised at, but at the same time I'm not surprised, do you know what I mean? So yeah, out of all the press conferences that you've seen or seen the highlights of, which one do you think was possibly the one that stood out for you?
Stood out for me personally, Splinter Cell Blacklist.
No, that's just one game. That was shown on... that was actually shown on the Microsoft one, and that did look pretty good, especially the bit where they've included the Kinect in it as well, where you see Sam Fisher hanging there, and you see the guy, he's in the distance of it, and the guy doing the demonstration goes, "Hey, you!" And then the guy turns around and walks over, and obviously Sam Fisher knocks him out and chucks him off a bridge, and in typical Splinter Cell fashion.
Yeah.
So it looks like that's going to be a mix of the original Splinter Cell with the new fast pace from Conviction. So be interesting to see where that one actually goes. I am actually looking forward to that one myself. But as a press conference, you had the Economy one, you had EA, Ubisoft, Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft. I think were the only ones that have been published in video format. Which one of those, from what you've seen of them, stood out for you?
Microsoft, I would have to say. Just, I don't know why, but it, just edges out the rest of them.
Why was that? Is that because Microsoft have added in all those video channels that us in the UK won't get? The NFL, the NBA, the NHL, they've added all these bloody channels in.
We will get them eventually, I'm sure of it. It's not Netflix that I've only just started using.
But
that was on the PS3, and it was exclusive to America. And then it's taken a while, but it's finally here in the UK.
Yeah, but that's Netflix themselves having to bring that out over here, because they were based in America. They're now based in the UK.
I know, mate, but what I'm saying is, if they, alright, it's all over in America, but the things could eventually wind their way into the UK.
You still haven't got UFC over here on the Xbox. For us. Yeah, you get all these stupid advertisements for it. We can't use it, apparently, according to your uncle. Be nice to be able to use it. I mean, I'd imagine that if they did want to on wrestling and whatnot, there'd be a lot of people would be getting it, because obviously a lot of
there'd be a following.
There would be a following, especially if from what I've been reading about WWE trying to set up their own TV channel and everything, and having wrestling shows put on 24 hours a day and stuff. Be interesting to see if they did a channel on the Xbox. Charged people God knows what, 'cause I mean they've got the finger in everything else.
Well,
but moving back onto the games, they've announced that. They've announced Nickelodeon's coming to the Xbox. What else was there? There was something else, and it's just completely escaped my mind.
Yeah, that's mine, no.
But yeah, the one that stood out for me, that had more of what interested me in, really, is what I would probably say, was the Ubisoft one. You had your Assassin's Creed, you had your Rayman game, you had just Ubisoft in general. For me at the moment, seemed to be possibly the most on-form game developer publisher.
They seem to be the one that's actually doing some real work.
Well, not necessarily real work. They just pretty much every game that they churn out is pretty much a consistent hit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas Activision are churning out as much crap as they can to try and make money. Another game, that company that used to do that. A couple of the games I'm looking forward to from them, published by them, is obviously the next Need for Speed. Need for Speed Most Wanted 2. Oh, wait, actually, it's not Need for Speed Most Wanted 2. It's actually getting called Need for Speed Most Wanted. But it's obviously anybody knows Need for Speed Most Wanted 2, really, because obviously the first one came out not that long ago. I think it was about 4 iterations of it ago. When the Xbox 360 was launched, it came out on the 360. It was the first Need for Speed game on the 360, as well as it came out on the Xbox as well.
Yeah, I don't get the whole naming. Why haven't they called it Need for Speed 2?
I mean, back on the PlayStation, when Need for Speed first came out, you had Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2. Then they've done a reboot of it, of Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. Does not make any sense. I think EA need to probably go and check their back catalogue and go, oh, we need to add a number on the back of that. One of the things that shocked me with EA though, which we obviously noticed, was that they're getting the UFC type the brand. So where THQ had it before, it's now gone to EA. So it'd be interesting to see how EA handle handle it basically, because it's not that it's possibly more complex than a simple wrestling game that THQ do. Because if you look at it, you've got your stand and stance, where you've got to take into account, and then your grappling on the ground stance, as well as obviously shifting your weight. You've got your attack, your defence. So there's a lot of stuff that they need to take in, but there's no way really. Then to me, they need to find a way to simplify it. As far as I'm concerned, one of the things I did spot, and I don't know what which, because I've seen that many of the press conferences, one after the other, was a game. It looked like Grand Theft Auto, but it wasn't Grand Theft Auto. It looks like you're playing a guy that's on the run and you're being tracked by your telephone, and you can set off EMP pulses and stuff. I can't remember what that is called. When I do remember, I'll put it up on the GamerMen website. But that looked really good as well. What else was there that E3 wise that you thought was pretty spot on?
I don't know, mate. There's quite a bit to get round, so I wouldn't say it's sort of on the whole very good, and I'm looking forward to it. I wouldn't say there's anything in particular that I would be jumping and larking about for, but there's on the whole extremely interesting.
Yeah, I mean, on a scale of 1 to 5, what would you give this year's E3?
I wouldn't give it a 5. I'd give it a 4, but I wouldn't give it a 5.
Yeah, I mean, it had quite a few hits that me personally I wasn't expecting, or I was expecting, and it proved to be better than what it was. And it had quite a lot of misses for me, I think. Microsoft, I think their press release was basically mediocre, the same as Sony. Nintendo's, I think it was a lot better because it explained the Wii and it demonstrated the Wii U a lot better. Ubisoft, for me, stole the show again, as they did last year.
Yeah. And they seem to be making a good habit of doing that.
Yeah, because next year will be the one to find out which one steals the show. Because obviously, because of all the rife rumours of next generation consoles and with the Wii U coming out this year and whatnot, I think it's going to be a case of E3 next year is going to be, if Sony or Microsoft do not announce it by the Tokyo Game Show this year, which is down in September, if they don't announce a new console by then, with regards to, they don't necessarily have to say it's come out in the next year, but if they announce that this is what you could be expecting from the next generation of console, bear in mind, Epic's demonstrated the Unreal 4 engine already, which, to be honest with you, is absolutely stunning. It'd be interesting to see what would then happen. I know myself, I would probably keep hold of the Xbox 360 till at least 6 or 7 months of the next Xbox console coming out. But at the same time, I may just keep hold of the Xbox 360 and possibly purchase a new Xbox. For me, it's all down to the games. Now, by the time the next two consoles from Microsoft and Sony come out, Wii U's already going to be on the market.
I have to say, I am a bit worried on the way of the new consoles.
Why is that?
We would have to go out and buy everything all over again. Of course, there's some fantastic titles. It's the same as the PS3 and the old PlayStation 2 stuff. Back when I was still playing it. They announced the PlayStation 3, everybody jumped on the bandwagon. Yep, wonderful, brand new system, brand new things, brand new games, and they forgot about all the old stuff. They forgot about all the absolutely legendary titles.
Yeah.
And they all got washed under the carpet.
Well, take a look at the original PlayStation, right? Original PlayStation come out, everybody's like, yay, PlayStation! They announced PlayStation 2. People started turning around seeing games like Gran Turismo, which knocked up the racing genre for games. Tekken, which took gaming, fighting games to another new level, and simplified as well, so anybody could pick them up and play, even a button basher. You had, what else did you have out on it? You had Tomb Raider was brought out on it. You had, what was the other one? Ridge Racer was brought out on it. Crash Bandicoot, one of the most popular new IPs to have come out since Sonic and Mario.
The Crash Bandicoot was my first game that I played on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
I'm sure of that.
And it's the same thing every time a new console comes out. Oh, old graphics don't want to know it. And to be perfectly honest, I've got games there on the PC that are, that look like PlayStation 1 graphics that are pretty good still. I still enjoy playing them. I've got a Mega Drive and a Super Nintendo, as you know.
Well, the thing is, mate, if we are playing now, between the two of us, we're playing the first Worms game.
Yeah.
And that's been out ages.
Worms,
and yet I'm still enjoying it.
Worms, gameplay-wise, the Worms games have not changed at all. It's still the same as when they first came out on the Mega Drive, the SNES, the Amiga, the Commodore Amiga, should I say, or was it just the Amiga? It was one of the two. It has not changed. I mean, I remember getting Worms on the PC, and me and my dad sitting, chuckling away, playing away, where it was, oi, natter, and stuff like that, and everybody was having a good old chuckle at it.
Yeah.
These days, it's all more about this and more about that, and this graphics, like the graphics on this look a lot better than the graphics on that.
It's all about the bloody KD ratio, which stupid.
Which is it's only stupid when you're playing an objective game. Yes, fair enough. Kill death ratio was quite good.
I just don't see the 100% point of it, even if you're going for kill death ratios. I just think you've stopped having fun on the damn game and starting. Yeah, well,
kill death ratio. Ghost Recon's a prime example of it, right? Ghost Recon, prime example. None of the game modes are team deathmatch, which is literally you go out and you've got to get your kill deaths. Yeah?
Yeah.
You're playing conflict, decoy, saboteur, which is the main point of it is you work as a team, not necessarily get the points, you work as a team to attack the enemy and hit an objective, whether it's defending that objective or attacking the objective. The idea is you need to work as a team to. So if you spot somebody, you call it out. You don't run and kill them. If it's going to mean a chance of you getting killed and somebody else can take that shot, let them take that shot. They're the ones that's going to get shown. If they don't manage to take them out, you can take them out instead. A game like Ghost Recon is not where it has an objective in the game, should not be classed down as team death ratio. And a lot of communities now are all about, especially clans, are all about teams kill death ratio, which it's quite good and can make it competitive, but at the same time it spoils it because
it's spoiling the game.
If you're doing a game that is objective based, you should be working together as a team, and I've seen it many times in Call of Duty, as well as what was the other ones? Call of Duty, Battlefield, and Gears of War as well, and Ghost Recon. Everybody almost run if you one of these what you would probably call randomers, which is just join a public lobby. You don't work as a team. Nobody talks, and they run off on a lone wolf, and it just doesn't work. And 9 times out of 10 you're going to get killed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it is a bit of a sore point. I mean, at the same time, they have announced that Ghost Recon is going to be getting the first DLC pack is supposed to have Team Deathmatch in it. Have you seen the video for the new Forza Horizon though? That looks quite good.
I have, and weren't you saying to me earlier that it looked a bit arcadey?
I don't think it's going to be arcade. It looks more like sort of like the old Need for Speed games where it was more about the drift racing and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
So
Yeah.
that's one thing that I think could be quite good. I mean, what do you expect from that?
Well, it's Forza, and at the end of the day, they've done an awful lot with Forza. The Forza 3 was where I bought into the franchise, really. I'm going to go back and buy the original Forza 1 and 2 and play them.
Yeah.
But Forza 3 is where I bought in. And yeah, I loved Forza 3. Really enjoyed it. I thought all the aspects of it were absolutely brilliant. And then they blew me away with Forza 4, which is, although it's still a driving game, seemed to me to be completely different apart from the very basics.
Yeah.
Absolutely outstanding game. Highly recommend that one to anybody. So where they're going with this one would lead me to think that they're going to try and break the mold yet again.
Yeah, they're taking it off the track and into the streets from the look of it.
Yeah. But I wouldn't say I'm worried, but I'm definitely considering having a look into it and continuing the franchise. I just hope they don't make balls of it.
I don't think they would.
Oh, neither do I. Anyway, I've been Firestorm.
And I've been the Earth Nerd. Thank you for listening, and carry on gaming. Like us on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on thegamermen.co.uk and on Twitter at GamerMen UK. And we hope to see you next week for episode 8.
Yep.